Hey, good evening, everybody. It's me, Lynn Rene MacDonald, here for our live talk forum in Virginia Beach, Virginia, at the Institute for Christ Consciousness in the Copper Dragon, with my associates, Jennifer, Rachel, and my bud, Sophia. Okay, it's time for our live talk forum show. What we do here, as many of you already know, we work with the metaphysical and the physical here in Earth World Dimension. We do everything love, God, universe, stars, all from love. All about love is what we teach. It's what we do. We answer your questions. We talk about current events. We bring to you any of the wisdom that we get, gifts, tools, teach everybody to learn and work with love in this reality for your best life here in Earth World, no matter what is happening out here. Okay, so that's what the show is about. It's on donation. If you can donate, do. I tell people all the time, donation does not mean necessarily monetarily, right? You can donate in any way that you feel in your heart. I see people coming on. Hey, everybody, thanks for coming. A whole bunch of regulars are already popping up here, so thank you guys. Thanks. And so you can donate. We usually put up Venmo and PayPal, I believe. Rachel usually takes care of that here, so if you can donate, please do. Everything helps in these times. We know that these are crazy times, and everybody is going through it in these times. All right, and it's, you know, it's kind of inevitable, and these are incredible times. 2023 has really turned into some kind of year, that's for sure. All right, so today we have some stuff that we're going to talk about here on our show. We're going to answer your questions live, your personal questions, whatever you want to know about. So we address health, we address mental issues, we address astrology, we address everything that is God or love. Any questions you have in reference to the metaphysical, as well as everything universal law, astrology, earth world, whatever you want to know in your personal lives as well. You can ask personal questions about what's going on in your life, how to help your pets, your family. We do medium readings here, medium work for healing as well. So we do a whole bunch of different stuff. We do medical intuitive, so you can ask questions about your health, anything you're looking for in holistic medicine or alternative medicine. We address those things as well. So there's really nothing that you can do on our show in terms of ask and you shall receive. So you can ask about anything. Our job is to help you and everybody and ourselves live our greatest lives in Earth World during our time here, and for our mission to change this world from love. And that's what we teach, love. We teach higher knowing. So that'll fill everybody in. Okay, that's right, love. I see somebody writing something about love. I can't really see it. So anyway, so we'll be doing your questions probably first to start off, but I do have a segment that I talked a little bit about on my Facebook page. In the meantime, before we set up and kind of get rolling, if you guys want to look at it and you can follow along, I have both Donald Trump's traditional or OG, which is the original natal chart and subconscious chart, and we have Vladimir Putin's as well that I put on my page, on my Facebook page, which is this page right here that you're watching. So if you can pull it up on your phone or whatever, this way you could follow through here, or when I hold up the chart, or you can screenshot it now to get ready so you can understand what we're talking about in astrology when we talk about this segment. Because everybody's terrified these days, you know, that we're going to be under attack. And I've been bamming my social media stuff with, excuse me, tons of stuff that's coming in to tell people and teach the truth. But there's a lot of fear wrapped up in all of that. And really, God knows the plan. Everything is all the plan of the grand design of love. Okay, so while this darkness is freaking out, it's not going to happen in the way that they think. Although they're going to try like a motherfucker to scare the living shit out of all of us into believing and succumbing and all of the dark stuff that they keep on trying to do. Okay, but the truth of the matter is nothing is the way that you think it is. And Stephanie Bard, I think, was on one of my pages, or I saw one of her things, where she said, you know, the news out here tells you what they want you to think, and that's exactly what the darkness does. It sends it out to you at what they want you to think. It is not necessarily the God's honest truth or the truth of God, right? That's the God's honest truth. So what we teach here and do is the God's honest truth, and that's our job in this earth world as part of our soul's mission, is to bring that wisdom to you through our gifts, okay? And we all have these gifts if we all tap into our hearts, our souls, our God connection. It's the Christ formula: ask and you shall receive. Doesn't matter what religion you are or what your beliefs are, as long as you come from love and are in your heart authentically, then you have these gifts. Does that make sense? Everybody has them intuitively or instinctually, like your gut feeling, but not everybody is super connected to them, okay? In the same ways, and that different vibrational ways is how we get to different information. So you will get to tons of information from God, but you can't possibly get to everything until you are in your heart and work with this energy, preferably one-on-one as much as possible. The more you are open and clear and pure, the more information comes into you. So this is all part of our job, to share this wisdom with you. All the gifts I have, everybody else out here has. As you know, we talk about this quite often. And so we're going to talk tonight about things that we've addressed in the past, what's going on in the world, about the soldiers, the things that, some of the latest videos and things that God has brought me to, because my job is to get to the God's honest truth. So I don't know about you guys, but I've been scanning and trolling all these YouTubes and Facebooks and Twitters and what is it, the other one, TikToks and all this. I've been scanning and scanning and scanning. And when that happens, it is my subconscious soul. It's looking for something. It's looking for truths amongst all of the shit so I can bring it to you. When that happens, I'm like, boom, 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 boom. Stuff goes across my feed. What's this, God? What's the God's honest truth? What do I need to know? What do I need to share? Right? And the pieces that I need to know are what I will bring to you when they are the God's honest truth. So this is something that's driven by my subconscious soul. It's part of my gifts. Just like, way back in the day when Twilight came on, I was watching the Twilight movies over and over, and I'm like, what the hell is wrong with me? Or what is going on with me? Or I know, like Nikki was talking about how she was interested, I think, or Mark was interested in movies and war movies, right? And, and this is your subconscious soul bringing you past lives, bringing you information that you need, bringing you whatever it is that it calls in connection with all that is love, that is God, and your subconscious soul, your heart. Okay? And it brings in this information for your best wisdom, growth, learning, knowledge, everything you need. It's all tools and gifts from love. Okay? This is why this kind of stuff works. This is how this stuff works. Your soul calls it in. It is super genius. You have a subconscious soul. You have a conscious soul, right? And you have a big fat heart space. Thank God for that, right? Okay. And that said, so tonight we're going to explore, if we don't get to both of them, we're at least going to explore Vladimir Putin's chart and some of the information that has been coming in, which goes in alignment with the stuff I've told you in the past. But it's really, really some incredible stuff. Even if you don't understand the astrology, we're going to explain it to you so that you understand just the basics. Because one of the things we do here is we talk to people in layman's terms. Because I can't tell you how many fucking times I see spiritual shit or people post stuff on my page and I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? I'm like, you're so intellectual and that's fantastic that you have these wonderful gifts, but if I can't understand you, and we talk about this all the time, it's a fucking problem. Same thing with astrology. Astrology is a complex formula, but once you know it, right, it always is full of learning and learning new stuff, just like everything that is God or love. We're always constantly learning, right? So the astrology, in this case, we'll be learning through the astrology. We'll be learning through all of these things. And so tonight we're going to take a look at Vladimir Putin and his story and the stuff going on in there, because it's going to help you understand what's going on out here. And it doesn't have to be complex. More often than not, earth world vibration of humanity cannot understand it. That's why they have such a hard time with the law, right? The laws that they write. Everything is of the dark matrix. If we just were straight the fuck up with everything in spoken layman's terms, what a different world it would be. Because we all would understand each other. We could all hear each other, we could all talk to each other, and we could all listen, hear, think, right? Understand. Super, super, super important. All right, so this is why we're going to talk about these things again. Don't be afraid of the astrology. Grab by the bull by the horns. I get a lot of people say, I can't watch this show because of the astrology, or I can't do this. But if you just ask love or God that you get it, you understand it, and you want to learn it, and it's the greatest, and you clear your blocks from it, and you're happy, boom, it is so. You have all the power, people. Just like when I don't want to do an appointment with somebody, right? If I'm having a rough day and I'm really tired, or I need to lay down, I'm like, okay, God, can we just move this person's appointment to next week? And let me just, get some rest for me, because I need to take care of me, and let me be free of their appointment today, right? And then you know what happens? Person texts me, I have to go do this. I have to go do that. I can't make it today. And I'm like, thanks, God. Thanks. And it's not because I'm being shitty. It's because I love me. And sometimes we have to do stuff like that so we can take care of ourselves. But the reason I'm sharing this is because you got all the power. Whether there's nothing on the shelf in the grocery store and you went last night and they said, there's no shipment coming in. And then you ask God and you say, okay, thanks God for 15 containers of coffee being there, right? And then you go to the supermarket and you put it out there that it's there. You go and you pick it up. Thanks, love, for that for me. Thanks for clearing my blocks from that from happening. And thanks for me being happy no matter what happens. And you go there and the coffee that wasn't there last night is suddenly there today for you to get, right? Because that's how it works. And the more you evolve, the more you work with love, the more you do the formulas of everything that we teach here as much as possible and be in your heart and work with God and do your best to do the right thing from love. You have all these mad skills. And the more these mad skills you have and things happen, boom, 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 boom. Can't even snap my fingers right now because all my jewels today. But the more you do them, right, the more open the channel you are, the more magic you have, and the more it's going to happen for you. Because I can't tell you how many times, just this week alone, that my whole family is like, my soul family and everybody who's down here, they're all like, oh, Lynn, this is what's going to happen. I'm like, stop. Don't tell me what's going to happen. Tell me what you're going to create. Because this is, every time they open their fat mouths with the shittiness, right? They're like, oh, there's going to be no coffee on the shelf. Oh, I won't have the time to do this. Oh, this is so overwhelming. I'm like, what the fuck are you praying on, man? Shut up and ask God for what you want and create it. I'm tired of hearing the same shit over and over and over, right? What the fuck you live with me for? Right? That's right. Rachel's going, Lynn.
We're moving out. We're moving out.
They tell me they're moving out, so we'll sending you all applications for new positions. All right. So you get my point, right? If we remind each other that you can change this, boom, like that, then it is so. And just put it out there. Don't dive into the darkness. That's exactly what the darkness wants you to do. Just like when I see all these videos, and I posted a lot of them, people will be saying, oh, it's fear-mongering, and you're facilitating this, and you're creating this. No, I'm posting because people need to know the God's honest truth of what the darkness is up to. You need to know so that you can be prepared for no matter what comes into the future and what we have to face with everything that's going on in this country, around the world, in our personal lives. Whatever I need to put out there is going to affect us massively, and we need to know and be ready. But what we don't need is to be afraid. And you have all the power, okay, to work with love. And so tonight, and change it. And so tonight we are going to talk about Vladimir Putin and what God or love has shown me. And we've talked about this many times, and people, they're trying to get you to hate fucking Vladimir Putin. They're trying to get you to buy their narrative. Same thing with Donald Trump. They did the same thing to him. Same exact thing. There's lots and lots of people. They did the narrative through the school systems, through grade school, right up into the colleges. How many of you listen to your kids and they don't believe what you would believe or what you believe? Yeah, they don't. I see it. I see it in my ex's son, right? I see it in other people. You know, they're totally off the train of what their belief system was designed to be, because the school system, the indoctrination out here in Earthworld has changed their beliefs, and it's heartbreaking. I couldn't imagine if my own two children were like that, and I absolutely feel for everybody who's going through this, because so much of the riots and the things that are going on are some of our children too. There's some of our children too out there, you know, cheering on Palestine and death of America and all the garbage that they got going on here that they indoctrinated them to, when really it's not even fucking about that. But they want you to take a side, and they want you to hate, and they want you to get behind the war machine, right? And they want you to do this so that they can destroy all of our army, send over our ships, destroy everything out here, and then we don't have an army and we can't protect ourselves at home. We talked about this last weekend. And then they're infiltrating with all these, immigrants. As you guys know, this has been going on for a while, and all the pieces of everything is all coming together. Same thing with having no oil and shutting down the pipeline and having no resources. This is all part of the dark plan under Joe Biden as the proxy president for them, for this country, when there really is no country. And they abuse the living shit out of Donald Trump, right? Regardless of Donald Trump's personal issues. If you put all your crap aside, if anyone's out there loving or hating Donald Trump, put this over here. Put it over here, right? Because the truth of the matter is, when you hate so much like this, it tells you the truth. They don't want Donald Trump in office. They want to make him an example. And if you don't even like him, you must respect him. You must respect him, because for all the shit that man has been through, whoa. If anything, you must respect that, okay? So this said, and must respect him for that, because I couldn't imagine that a fucking one of us could imagine what it's like to go through that, that experience and those experiences. Because what they say, and what do they say? God doesn't give us more than we can handle. Each one of us has our own grand design of our destiny and our journey. So we just give it to God. We don't have to worry about that. But what we do need to see is the truth about what they're doing to him, not how much we hate him and we hope he goes to jail and all this other crap. Because there's far more going on here than people even fucking know, right? And this goes back to before, when he was the president, the actual president, and the collusion thing with him and Vladimir Putin. All right, so I posted all kinds of lovely, some stuff cryptic, because I like the cryptic just a little, right? But if you ask me about it, I will gladly share. We share this kind of stuff on the show as well. Okay, so when they say they were saying Donald Trump is in collusion with Vladimir Putin to destroy our country, let me tell you a little secret. Why would they say that? Why would they want you to believe that? Because they want you to believe that they're both dark, they're both toxic, and they're both trying to destroy America, when really it's them. Not Donald Trump and not Vladimir Putin, but it's the darkness that wants you to believe that. Now imagine, all right, take your mind out of that framework for a minute, and imagine if Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin were on the same team, underlying with a subconscious, secret agenda of the light that the people have no clue about, but they know. Why would they force all that collusion? Something to think about, okay? Something to think about, all right? So that said, that's going to give you some hope for those of you who want a different outcome for our country than what they're spewing out and their word vomit out here. Talking about, these people, you're seeing military tanks go all over the country, and they're trying to set up armies and martial law and all this crap. They still haven't done the COVID thing and the new variant here. I'm not entirely sure they're going to do it. It feels like this. Doesn't feel solid. Why? Because they can't get the people to believe it. They can't get the people to believe it or buy it, then they can't really do it. And the same thing is true with the war machine. If the people, that's us, people, that's us, hi us, all right? So that's us. We got to stand up, and all because we can do what the darkness wants us to do doesn't mean that we should. Do you see? So these moments are coming in multiple different ways. So prepare, get ready for anything that comes, and always work with God and love, and your soul, your heart, will guide you to everything you need. Everything. Like I've already said, get your kids out of the fucking school systems, out of the colleges. People still buying into the old shit. I'm sending my kids to college because they need an education. You want me to tell you something about that? New education, new world, new schools are coming. And these are not the ones your children should be in, even your adult children. So give them new ways to operate. How do you do that? You ask God. You ask love for those things, those avenues. Ask love for the best school, the best tools, the best learning, the best wisdom, the best career for your child. You don't got to go to their schools. That's what they want you to do, so they can brainwash your kids into all the shit that's going on out here. Truth be told. So it's past high time. Get your fucking kids, no matter how big or how tall or how old, out of this fucking system. It's time. It's time for that. Okay? So these are all the things you guys got to start really thinking about and moving forward to, just like the prepping and trying to accumulate certain things that you will need, which we have talked about in the past. Okay, all these things, just be prepared. Build a community. Make sure you have services. In other words, things that you can offer other people and share with other people, and trade and groceries and food and everything. So you are all prepared. Okay, for whatever comes or doesn't come. It's better to have far more than enough than not enough, always. Okay, because you can always, trade with somebody else. And when I say always, in these situations especially. Okay, so that said, we're going to talk about Vladimir Putin, and I'm going to really get into it, and Donald Trump. And as I posted on my page, do you guys know that the name Vladimir means ruler of the world? And do you know he already is that in many ways, right? He's what is he, the president of, I don't know exactly his title, so excuse me if I'm wrong in the in what I call his title, but to me he is the equivalent of the president of Russia, right? Just as Donald Trump was the equivalent of was the actual president of the United States, right? When he was in office, okay? And like it or not, he was that president. Fact is, right? And so for all you fact checkers, right? So, but here's the deal. Donald is also, like Vladimir, these are names that mean ruler of the world. Do you think that's a fucking accident? If you look at every message from all that is God, that is love, the truth is right there. And then when you pull out the astrology, holy shit. But again, your astrology, just like any readings you do with anybody, just like anything you do in your God space, it can be convoluted. It can be fucked up. So you want to be sure about what you're doing. Because there's a ton of fucking astrologists that will be out there and say, oh, Lynn is wrong, or we're masters at this astrology and we know better. You know what's right in your heart of what I say. You know what's right in your heart of your studying of your gifts and your tools and working with God. You fucking know. And even if they say, oh, that's not what's going to happen, and he's dark, and this is dark, they're dark. They're dark. Follow them. Look at their shit. Everything's in the code of all the energy that is, and you can't fucking miss it. Recently, I was watching this one guy in the tarot that I kind of liked, and I stumbled upon. I liked some of his stuff, and the more I listened to him, the more bizarre he became. And I was like, what the fuck? And I posted one of his segments written in writing, and it's all about Babylon and all the shit that, and I'm just like, this is can't even be real. So he's all loaded with darkness. Right? But it's all a disguise. It's what the darkness does is it takes the formula God, turns it around, twists it for their own agenda, massive manipulation, the formula of love. And that's been going on here for a long ass time because we are living in hell on earth. This is it. But you know, somebody came to me when I had all those wild times with the demons and shit like that, especially of the past and of the recent last few years. And this one person and many people have told me, I'll see you in hell. And I'm like, okay, I'll see you there, man. I said, because I've been in hell a million fucking times over and over and over. This right here, this is fucking hell, people. This is fucking hell. Because this is what we do. We eradicate hell from all that is God, that is love, in every dimension, every planet, everywhere. So we are well accustomed to what it's like to fucking suffer and be in hell. So while these people say to me, oh, you're going to go to hell and you're going to suffer. Yeah? Right back at you, bitch. Right back at you. Because the truth is, we know all about this, and we have the power of God and love. And with that power, we do this from lifetimes, for lifetimes, galactically, and all that is God, that is love, dimensionally, right? We take down the darkness. We are the superheroes of the universe. This is what we do. This is why I can bring to you the wisdom that I bring to you. This isn't something I just came here and I'm fucking born with. This is a lifetimes of getting a clue about what you do and don't do. Right? Because nothing teaches better than actually living it. That's Aries. You gotta do it. You gotta get it to be in it. I can tell you what it's like to have a baby 100 ways till Sunday, but every single person's experience of having a baby will be different. It will be different. And the bottom line is, until you birth a fucking baby, you don't know what it's like. You don't. Not truly. But that's the magic of living it. Then you have all those tools in your arsenal and living many different times, as many different experiences, as many different people's lives, dimensions, energies, all of these things, which then brings us to right here today in all of our wisdom and our gifts. You didn't get your gifts because you were just given them and it's just so lovely. It's true that that's part of it. However, you got them because you did the work. You don't come to Capricorn's world and not do the work and have those gifts. It doesn't work that way here in Earth World. So this is to let you guys know. So we're going to debunk some of the world mysteries while, they're saying Vladimir Putin just was with Xi Jinping, whatever the fuck his name is, right? And for their World Beltway Summit, and these are all the things that are going on. But remember this, sometimes you have to speak to the demon in a language that he understands, and you must know how the demon operates. Doesn't mean you have to be them, but you have to be able to play your cards. That's Donald Trump. That's Vladimir Putin. That's us. Got to know how to play our cards. Got to know what to say, when to say, how to say, what not to say, what to do, when to do. Because as things hit the fan and things come all around, and it isn't just these two guys, and it isn't just me and all of us, it's multiple, many, many, many of us. Okay, here to change the world, here to do this work. But, okay, you know what's going on. All right, and they just had this thing over here because they want you to believe, too, with what they show you on the news. They want you to believe that Vladimir Putin is bad. But it is in Vladimir Putin's own interest for his own country, let alone all that's going on in the world. And there were reports of Russian ships being around Hawaii during the fires trying to help. Right? But a lot of people didn't know about that. Right? And some people say, well, that wasn't really the truth. If it came in, and whether it's truth of God or not, literally, it comes in for a reason. There is Russian assistance coming. Do you understand that? Right? God gives us messages in multiple ways, literal and metaphysical, for the now, for the moment, for the future, for our healing, for our destiny, for our abundance. It's infinite. God is infinite. So the question is, this is why you must always have, not the question, but this is why you must always have the gifts and tools of working and talking to God. It behooves you, because you'll always know exactly what's going on and why it's happening and how it's going on. And you can always speak to God like I speak to you, and that's how I speak to God. Okay, God, what's going on? What's the story here? The God's on his truth, right? Yeah, and I have some cool gifts that God brought me to share with you tonight. I'm going to take a moment. I got these cool ass stones. Again, this is all about helping everybody. And these are called prophecy stones. Okay, pretty cool shit. All right, I'm gonna I don't know if I can hold them up. All right, but these little black stones, you can Google them. They're not fucking cheap. But then in these times, what the fuck is cheap? I don't want anything cheap, because then everything that comes back to me is cheap, and I'm a quality girl. Not about the fucking cheap. I want shit that works like nobody else's business. These are a whole handful of what I call prophecy stones, and they're really wicked cool. All right, when I say wicked cool, no darkness intended. Right? These are super magical. They will help you have clarity on the information that you're getting, whether you touch them, whether you hold them, whether you work with them from love. Everything is tools and gifts from God or love to help all of us. So these are some cool shit. So those of you who have trouble sometimes, especially in these times with all the manipulation and all the darkness and everything that I'm saying here on the show, get yourself some prophecy stones. These will help you to see better with more clarity, especially if you're having challenges. And honestly, who wouldn't be having challenges in these times? You know, when I'm not sure of something, I'm like, okay, God, what is going on here? I need to know the God's on his truth. What's going on? What is happening? And I'll even put my hands on the stones. I just got these, or hold them. Somebody has a question?
Yeah, Teresa Courtney Lloyd is asking, are they similar to runes?
I'm not exactly sure, because I have boxes and packages of runes. So I think they could be or are in some way, but I feel that they're unique unto themselves. All right, because they have a whole different energy than runes. And because my soul is drawn to this, and for the clarity and the focus. And if you have any kind of Gemini Sag going on, or you're in an intellectual, your mind is going, or you're an air sign, or you have very prominent air sign things going on in you, your mind is going a mile a minute. You're like boom, 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 boom. You can think of 1,001 things, but then when you get the information that's the God's honest truth and it floats by, and you're like, fuck. You're looking at like all of this stuff that came into your mind, soul, and you're just like, what am I missing here, right? So these stones will help with clarity for that, to clear out the shit that's your crap, where you overthink things, where you don't think enough. This is common in any and all air signs: Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. Okay, and the more you heal you, clear out your shit, the more of a handle you will have on this stuff naturally. But these stones are great tools for these times. This is why I was guided to them, so I want to share them with you. So they're sort of like runes. Runes have their own prophesizing magic, and all stones have their own kinds of magic and brings gifts to you, of course. But these in particular, I prefer right now in these times, and they were basically gifted to me through God or love. Anything I need. Okay, God, what do I need now? What do I need to do now? What do I need to see now? And then boom, something comes over my feed, or I hear about it from somebody else, or I go to a rock shop somewhere, or I'm traveling and somebody gives me a gift. Whatever it is, it's all brought in through my soul and my God connection, because remember, our subconscious souls are genius. Okay, so So yes, Teresa, they're kind of like that, but to me they're uniquely different. And if you like runes and you work with runes, because those are part of your gifts, if that's how you feel and you have them, and anybody who does that's called to that, that's part of their destiny, right? So just like these prophecy stones, these are part of mine, and I want to share that with you guys, because if God is showing me these for me, I want to show them for you, so that if you choose to have them, because they will help and assist you. One isn't better or bad or in any way, shape, or form. It's just whatever your soul resonates with. And then it's what you need in the now as well. What tools do you need right now? So some cool shit, cool wisdom about stones to share with you. All right, just watch out. There's so much ripping off on the internet out there. You think you're getting bags of shit, and they give you a bag like this and it's like $50 some, and you're like, what the fuck, right? There's barely anything in it, and you thought you were getting like a half a pound of something or a pound of something. And so, I mean, and it's so delusional. And so much of it is deliberate, and it's shitty, and it's toxic. So be aware of what you're getting. This is why into the future, earth world real shops like ours, where you can go in and touch the thing, you feel it, you see how big it is, you know what it is, you know what you're getting for the price that you're getting. So there's tons of rip-offs going out there, tons of darkness in this arena, right? You think something is really big and it's really small. You think something is really small and it's really big, and it's part of the illusions of this AI technology, because it isn't fucking real. Not in the way of real life, when you hold things and see things and touch things and feel things. All right, so this is why shops and entrepreneur stuff is going to come right back. All right, it's just going to take a little bit of time as we go through this process of what is happening in the collective and in the world, right? It's going to take a little time. Okay, so this said, we're going to debunk a lot, if we can, in this time period, about what's going on with Vladimir Putin. We've already talked a little bit about all of this and the Donald Trump. There's other key players in this. As you know, there is no such thing as Democratic and Republican. They're all part of the darkness. The sooner everybody gets their head out of, my kid has to go to college, I have to finance my house for college, or I'm going to buy a new house in these times, with what is going on, I don't advise any of this at all. God will lead you. Ask love. They will guide you to everything you need. Okay, all those old world beliefs that you guys got going on have to go. There will be new schools, there will be new systems, there will be new ways, and they are coming like a steam train, based in love, right? Okay, a really good example of this is me being a medical intuitive, and whether you believe me or not and what I do or not, I know what I get is the God's honest truth, and that my gifts heal people when nobody else can, and this I know, without a doubt. And why? Because it's not what they teach you in Earth World. I'm not from this fucking world. Neither are you. So why we keep fitting our square pegs in round holes here on Earth World is like stupid. This is why we have so many challenges. It's why people don't do what we think, because they don't come from love. They're not made of love. They're not in those spaces. So they teach their curriculum, their crap, their ways, which is completely fucking toxic. Truly. Right? So, and I could get into it for hours and hours and hours, but we'll talk more and more about these things into the future. But you got to let go of these indoctrinations, these beliefs of the old ways where you have to go to college, all right, and you have to do this and you have to do that. And I can't tell you, I myself, well, I don't know if I would say this, but I know many people who have gone to colleges and don't even do what they fucking majored in, right? They don't. So many people, because they're not happy in that field. All right, this is what they geared us to do and what they told us we should do, because what you should do is not out there in a school. It's in your heart, and your soul will guide you to the best education. And in the future, there will be new schools. There will be different schools. They are all coming, because all these teachers and all these good people that are out there have to do something, right? From love. All these things will be provided for us from love. So the sooner we all quit doing things of the old way, the more things are going to crumble, fall apart, and change, and the less control they have, the darkness, over us. Okay? So tonight, again, like I said, we're going to talk about the Vladimir Putin stuff, and we may get into it more. We may just run over his chart a little bit tonight and go back over it next week, because I do want to answer questions from last week, questions from this week, and I know I kind of went off, but it's super important for you guys to get the understanding of this and what is going on in the world, because they are trying to take over our country. We don't really have a government. It is not about Democrats and Republicans. They're all fucking dark. It's all part of the darkness. There may be one or two here and there that are of the light, but it is not the party itself. It is, all of that is dead now. Think of it as the old ways, and it is dead. It is all part of the toxic new world government that has you all wrapped up in these political games here in American government and all over the world, because they want you to believe that it's still happening in the way that you think. Because the more that they do that, the more they can secretly take over your country, your world, take all your things and all the crazy shit. Everything from slave boxcars, I don't know if any of you have seen it, all right, to immigrants, the immigrants that are coming in. We've talked about all those things. But you know what's funny is, here's another ray of hope. I saw some videos, and I felt like some of the soldiers, or some of the young guys that are coming in as immigrants, are actual soldiers from other countries, such as Russia, here to help us. All right, so wouldn't that be interesting? Let's see what happens, right? All right, so you feel the energy. All right, there are no accidents. Not everything is what you think it is, but there's a ton of darkness. But you have the power to change it. Pray for these things. Pray for the light. Pray for the things that are giving you hope right now to be the truth. And then you really do even more so create it. But this is in the cards of the energy that's coming. Make no mistake about it. You feel it in your heart. So, but where you vibrate is only as far as you can see into what I'm saying and telling you. How many people? My mother, I love my mother. She has her own agenda and her own set of things that she clearly has to work on, right? But, you know, if I start to tell my mother that Vladimir Putin is a good guy, she gets the fucking shit on with me. And so I'm like, stop. We can't talk about this. We can't talk about this, right? Because she's not ready to see things differently. Just like everybody who got the COVID shot. Oh, I had to do it. No, you fucking didn't. But I had to work. But I had to travel. No, you fucking didn't. You didn't. You made a poor choice from love for yourself that wasn't there, and that's okay. But now universe has led you to here, and us, and God, and the tools, wherever you need to find them to heal yourself from all of this. As always. And they're smacking on the mad poisons in our foods through what used to be Bragg's, a really good name label, is now taken over by Bill Gates. And I think Katy Perry might be involved in it, right? And people send me this shit all the fucking time. It's crazy, right? So, and then they're talking about this appeal, APEEL, right? Which is a coating. It means your food has, your fruit and your produce has a fucking toxic coating on it that won't come off, that keeps the food fresh. Meanwhile, it poisons the fuck out of you and your family. And then all the GMO shit on all the labels. You can't, you know, you're going to a restaurant, you think you're getting good food. No, this is the food that they're sending you. So make sure you know what the fuck you're eating, because it isn't going to get any better. All right, they're going to just make it dive, right? Because that's their plan. In other words, they're going to keep going to this until everything breaks down. They can't possibly do it anymore. Do you see? And that's their plan. But the more you are consciously aware of this, less you're going to be poisoned, right? And just like I'm having this water, I'm drinking just warm water, right? And I'm absolutely detoxing with tinctures and formulas and vitamins and minerals and herbs and essential oils and cell salts and holistic medicine, everything God brings to my door to help me, right? Because this is the new world of health. Because you can detox yourself from the shots and from the food and from the poisons, but it's going to now be a continual thing into our future if we're going to be well and they're not going to kill us. Do you see? Has to be until this is stopped. And it's coming, but it's a process, and it takes time in Saturn's Earth world. So these are about the tools that will protect you right now. So you know the God's honest truth. You're aware of what's going on, where you get your food. So many people go, well, I grow my food. Well, those of us who live in apartments or don't have a home or don't have a place to live or don't have an area to grow things, what do those people do? Well, they trade. They share. I have this, I'm going to give this to you. I need a piece of meat. That's a real piece of meat. That's not what is it they call it?
GMO?
GMO? No, that's not.
Bioengineered.
Bioengineered. Yeah. Well, GMO, I think, is bioengineered anyways, isn't it? Yeah, it's like just another fucking word for it, right? So this is how you do things. You're not going to be at a loss. Yeah, if you have a garden, and can build a garden, you do. But just like me, with all my medical tools and my medical gifts and all these gifts of God that I teach, this is my gifts to share with the world. So you guys can get a handle and use your own gifts for the very same purpose that I do, to raise the world vibration from love and change the world from love. Okay, but also you have all the tools that you need as well, the mad gifts, the mad skills, both in earth world and across the board metaphysically. And you'll have everything you need. You can't not. Okay, and you want to be free of those patterns that have us indoctrinated into this dark matrix. Thanks God for that, for us, from love. But the best way to be from love. Thanks for the God's honest truth from love. Let us always see it, know it, understand it, get it without a doubt, and let us utilize it and work with this love energy in the purest form of love, in this reality, any reality, and all that is always. And let us be free of anything that stops that from happening, and let us be happy no matter what happens. Right? Yeah, for all of us and for the whole fucking world. Hell yeah. All right, so this said, thanks God for that, for us, from love. Okay, that said, I want to ask Jen and Rachel, I'm going to say hi to everybody. I know I haven't done that yet. I know our show is, I don't even know what time it is. What time is it, guys?
7:56.
Okay, it's 7:56, so I want to, it's already been 45 minutes that I've talked about so much, so thank you all for coming. I want to say thanks everybody who donates at whatever donating you can, whether it's financially or whether you share what we do. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Whether you share about our shop, or you come into our shop, or you share, on your Facebook our show, wherever, where we can help each other change the world from love, because that's what the mission is, okay? That's what it's really about. All right, and to make it the greatest world for us too, from love, for us, our families, ourselves, our souls. Self-love, number one, self-love. Okay, so who's here, guys? Jen, Rachel?
Nikki's here. Dee's here.
Hey, Nikki and Dee.
Lloyd.
Hey,
Kathy,
Teresa. Hey, everybody. Thank you for coming. Steve Goat?
Yep.
Hi, Steve. Hey. All right. So, thank you all for coming. And let's see. So, do we have questions from last week? What's our plan for tonight?
I don't think anybody that's got questions from last week is here tonight so far.
Okay.
And we do have one from tonight.
Okay. All right. So we have no questions from last week. We actually, and previous shows, Rachel's saying we have them, but nobody's here. So you know what we do? We hold them until the people come, so that we don't have to try to find their question and they don't get lost trying to find the answer to it when they do tune back in. Okay. So go ahead, Ray. What's our question we do? She says we have a question for tonight. What is the question?
Okay. We have Nikki tonight. She, let me just find the question. She says, the family and I went to the National Shrine and Grotto last weekend, and I took pictures of the statues of Mary, the family, saints, and angels. Some of the statues had energy around them. When I asked the tourist center about it, they said no one has ever said that about the statues, and that it was a message for Nikki.
Said what?
That the statues had energy around them.
Okay.
Okay. So she'd like you to look at the pictures that she took and see if there is any messages for her. And she says thank you in advance already.
All right. So Nikki went to, what is it called? The National Grotto?
The National Shrine and Grotto.
National Shrine and Grotto. Where is this, Nick?
It's in Maryland.
All right.
Actually, I looked it up. I was wondering the same
All right.
thing.
It's in Maryland, because we've been through a grotto. We've been to the Grotto of Redemption, and that was in Iowa. And that's years ago on a family trip when I was like 13. Another story for another day. However, here's some of the pictures Nikki is sending Jennifer and us from that. Okay? It's an angel. And the angel, oh, Nikki, you shouldn't even need me to tell you what this is about. It's so incredible. It's right there in our reality. I'm going to pick this up and put this up here for a few minutes for everybody, so maybe you all can see what's going on. All right, here we go. Okay, so this is just one of them. Are there multiple ones here, Jen? Yeah.
There's 4 total.
Okay, there's 4 total. Yeah. And if you see, the backgrounds are absolutely stunning, just as stunning as the sculptures themselves, if not more so. Art is a beautiful and amazing thing. All right, so that's one. I'm moving on. Here's another one. Beautiful, beautiful. You can see it. I'm going to show you these guys. This is for Nikki's question, and I think this is the third one. There might be another one up. I think you saw that one already. And there's one more. All right, but if you look at this one, you can see like almost like it's so crazy because there's like all these lights in the background. See the little lights? It looks like almost there's fire, right? Bright lights, like the light of heaven, right? Okay. So you have 4 different statues. All of these different statues are different angels, different God, or different love energies of God. What's super cool is this looks to me like a dog on the side. You see that little dog on the side of one of them? What are dogs? I don't know if anyone's seen that. Dog is God spelled backwards. We've talked about this before. Dog is unconditional love. Some incredible man's best friend, right? Dog has incredible energy. Just right there alone. We look through all of these things, and the answer, Nikki, is yes, this is for you, but it's on a personal level, but it is for all the people of the world, right? You see the flames, like the light in the background almost like looks like it's on fire, you know, like in the movies when they show the light of God comes in, and that's literally what this is about. That energy is the light of God shining in, all right? And if you notice, like the statue is praying. It's praying, it's quiet, it's in nature. These things are healing, these things are healthy, they're good for you, they're good for your soul, they're good for all of us. So the statue is praying. The answer is always talking to God. The answer is always working with love. The answer is always being in the light. The answer is always being in nature, which is God, which is love, right? So this is all personal to you, but it's personal to everybody, okay? And same thing, over and over, we see prayer, right? Look at those beautiful wings, right? Those beautiful wings, and then what is the angel doing? It's praying. It's praying, right? It's got its hands together, and that just represents prayer. It doesn't mean you have to pray that way. It is a symbol that represents God, represents love, represents light, like the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, the Trinity, the cross, right? And other symbols in all different religions represent higher power, love, or higher knowing, okay? So this is in your traditional religions like Catholicism here. And because this is, what was this called? The grotto, or
the National Shrine Grotto.
National Shrine Grotto, right? So they're like in many ways a shrine grotto is like a church, a very spiritual place is what it is. Okay, so yes, so you can see in all these pictures, you know, and then in this, I don't know who this is, but I feel like it's a saint, and I'm sure you know who it is, but he has a dove in his hand, I feel, or a bird, but I feel like it's a dove. If you look up close, guys, you can see it there. Okay, so this is all dove is like that purity. If you remember, I believe it was doves that brought the fig leaf to Moses after the world was destroyed.
That's cool.
Yeah. So there's multiple messages in this, Nikki, over and over and over. And if you look at it, the grounds, it's nature, it's beautiful, it's calm, it's serene, right? All these things are healing for you and for all of us. So on a personal level, the answer is through prayer. The answer is through God. The answer is through love. It's through talking to the angels. It's through all of these things that you see here. Again, oh, holy shit, Nikki, right? And I feel like you're reconnecting to God spaces of ancient times that are in your soul, because if you look at this one, it looks almost like a Mother Mary energy, right? But if you look really close, you see the rosary. She got a rosary on her. And it's going down. Do you see that? Yeah. And you just got a rosary.
Nikki says St. Francis of Assisi.
All right. But there you go. All right. But it's interrelated to all these religious figures, religious things. And so this is all that's coming in. It doesn't necessarily, like I've said multiple times, it doesn't have to be literal. All right. What's interesting too, I think at the feet there's like a rose, or what looks like a rose. Again, it doesn't have to be literal. If you can see it there, rose is about what? Self-love. Self-love is the story. It's the story of all spirituality. It's the story of your greatest life. Heal you, and the world is the most beautiful place. You're enlightened. It's where you get your ultimate enlightenment. Really, is by healing you. Okay. Okay. All right. So, Nikki, this is the stuff that's coming in. And in terms of this, is there anything else I need to know for Nikki, the dog again? So these are all saints and all connected to religious and spiritual stuff. I feel that you are tapping into these spaces in your soul from lifetimes. That's what the trip with your parents did. So you're seeing recurring themes over and over in your reality with all of this, which is bringing you back to all the answers in your soul that you already know, that we already work with, that you got. And your soul is tapping into this wisdom, releasing beliefs that are false, not truth of God or love, and also tapping into these energies within your soul from lifetimes in the portals of your soul to utilize these gifts into this time. All right, into these times, into your reality, okay, into manifestation. All right, so there you go, Nick. Any other questions? Ask God, ask love, and I'm going to ask God if there's anything else that we need to look into and do, and more stuff may come in later. But for now, that's what I'm picking up on. Also, if you see, they're all in stone. It's set in stone. Love is all the power, and it is set in stone. See all the stone statue, the stone all around it. Set in stone. Yeah. It's where your grounding is too. Your grounding. It's in nature. It's in stone. Okay? So love is all the power. It's set in stone. All your answers set in stone. Okay? Pretty cool shit, right?
That's neat.
Yeah, fascinating. And this isn't just for Nikki. This is a reminder for all of us in these times, because we are all going back to love, back to our God spaces in our souls for massive healing, massive tools, massive gifts. Can't not happen. What's happening for Nikki is happening for us in some way, shape, or form at sometimes the same time, sometimes at different times, depending on what each one of our souls' needs are, what we call in at any particular time for everything that is going on in our lives and in our personal lives and in the collective and with us, okay? And our families too. And all the people we love. All right, so Nikki, that was Nikki's question. Okay, what else we got here, guys?
We have Teresa Courtney Lloyd.
Okay.
She is asking if you have any messages from Bradley.
Okay, God, anything from Bradley? Yeah, actually there is. And it was no accident. I think you posted, Teresa, some kind of, did you, not some kind of, I'm just trying to find the right words. I think you posted the funeral stuff on your Facebook page. Can somebody pull that up? Or Bradley's gravestone? And I felt like,
I saw it too.
And Jennifer saw it too. That was no accident. We were supposed to see it.
Yeah.
For this particular reason that you're asking me this here. All right. When you say, does Bradley have any messages for me? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. All right. So when I looked at those things, if Jennifer can pull it up, I'm going to take a look at it, because Bradley is talking to me about this right now. This is huge. All right. This is why I saw this. But what's hysterical, or, is that Bradley gets a kick out of it because it's like crooked, if you look at it. And he absolutely loves it. He thinks you guys did a beautiful job. If everybody can see it, it looks like it's kind of crooked. Now it may settle, but he's getting a kick out of it. He thinks it's a fucking riot. Okay? He loves it. He thinks it's great. He sees all the things that are around it. And he's feeling that it's awesome that you guys love him so much, and he loves you so much. It's a beautiful gravestone. I thought, holy shit, it was so beautiful. The same thing. You have all these beautiful things. This is a kid or a young adult. I call him a kid because really, to you and me and most people who are our ages and have families, he's a kid. And a beautiful one, and a beautiful soul. So he wants me to tell you that he absolutely gets a kick out of all the things around his grave, loves everything that's around it, right? Which you guys all saw, I think, and Teresa has this on her Facebook page, so you can see it. But it's funny because the grave almost looks like it's crooked there. And he absolutely, he loves where it is. He loves the trees. He loves the mountains. He loves everything about it. And he said there's not a better place. Oh, God, I'm going to try not to cry, for him to rest. Okay? And so he wants to share that with you, and he loves everything that you put out there. All right? Everything that's out there, and he's getting a kick out of the grave being crooked. He thinks it's fucking hysterical. All right, so he likes all that. He wants to share that with you, and it's no accident that. Can you take that? Thank you, please, and thank you. Thanks. So it's no accident. Where were we going? Thanks God for clearing this out. And let me bring me back to this. It's no accident that I saw this on the Facebook, on the page, and I saw this a little while ago. You posted this post, but instantly Bradley comes in and is showing me this. So he wants to talk to me, to talk to you about this, because it's important that you know that you guys did a great job. He's really in awe of it. He loves you guys so much. He's around you so much. He loves everything you put around. He gets a kick out of it being crooked, even though he's sure that really wasn't the goal. But he just loves it. And are you his grandma? I think you're his grandma, because he says to me, he says, I love you so much, Grandma. That's what he's saying to me, right? To share with you. Okay? Anything else? Nothing. He loves the land up there. He wouldn't want to be laid to rest anywhere else. And he says he's in your kitchen all the fucking time. He says it smells good when there's food there. And he says it smells good in there. And he likes when you cook things and make things, and he's going to be around you guys for the holidays. He wants you to know that, because he wants you to know it's going to be a little tough this year. Because, holidays, especially the first ones or the first few, are always the hardest. More often than not, but you can pray on everything and make it the greatest it can be, and it will be the greatest, regardless, for you guys. And he wants me to share all of this, because he's not going to be there. He's just not going to be there in the way that is traditional that we would want him here in Earthworld, when you're actually living and manifested in this reality. Okay? As you know, obviously he's not here, but interesting enough, he's also telling me that he thinks that you guys should go out for dinner so that you can just have a nice time and not be in the house for a little bit and have a break and go out and have a nice dinner. And he wants you to enjoy yourselves, and he'll be there too. He's not going to leave you guys. Not now, not ever. He's always going to be in your hearts and your souls, and he's always going to be around you. And this is what he's sharing. He's also telling me that he loves the color blue. Okay? And this is just so you know. And it makes sense, because he's so beautiful. And so his emotions when I say that, why does that make sense? Because he's got so much emotion, so much beautiful emotion in him. Such a beautiful, beautiful soul. Every time I get in his energy, it makes me want to just whoo. Well, the tears come out of my eyes. I'm sure you all can see that. Okay, and this, so that said, is there anything else, Jen, that she would like to know with this?
Not that she's saying right now.
Or wants to comment?
She actually says, I know he is here. I use Bluey as his sit-in for special occasions.
Cute. Yeah. So that's all connection to all that and the blue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Really cool stuff. And Teresa, you can always ask us to in the future, and on personal messenger too, if there's any more, because there's always going to be more or things and that you'll have questions about as we go down this path and this healing journey for all of us, right? Yeah. And your family. Okay, girl. Much love. Much love. Okay. So what else we got?
We also have Kathy asking about her parents, if there's any messages from her parents.
Oh, Kathy Warmack?
Yes.
Okay, what's going on with Kathy's parents? Same. They're around you, Kathy. They come and they go. They would really like your family shit settled, okay, with the sister and all of that. Meaning for you guys, because they don't like to see how it torments you guys. They're around you with the heart surgery. They've been there for you with the heart stuff, and you're healing with that, absolutely. Now, this is all the stuff that they're sharing with me to share with you. Anything else for Kathy? Now, basically, same. They're around you. There's nothing other than this stuff that we just said that's new to kind of report for you. And there's something about that they're hoping that your sister and you and your family and all of this can be healed over the holiday season. The holiday season has always been one that either tears us up with wars or puts us back together again as a family from love. Most of you already know those things, because how many Christmases and holidays when we're like, oh no, they're coming. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, we all been through it. We're like, fuck, Do we have to go to their house for dinner? You know, and you're like, oh, I got work to do on that, right? Or, you know, if you look at it in a different way and you pray on it, you make it the best it can be from love, Kathy. And so I feel that these things can be resolved with the holiday energy, because the holiday is a beautiful time. It's about thanks. It's about giving thanks. It's about being grateful for everything that we have, our family, Thanksgiving, right? Same thing with Christmas. Christmas is a family holiday as well. Doesn't matter what holidays you celebrate, whatever it is that you celebrate, holidays are about love. They're about hiring God or love energy, healing, spending time together, giving, just being with one another, right? All of these things are all part of that, okay? Kathy, so for you and Teresa, it's going to be a wonderful holiday season. It doesn't mean that it won't have some tears, but you guys both have the power to make incredible things happen with this holiday energy. All right, and your parents are around you, and talk to them, ask them for their help, for Kathy and Teresa, and you can do the same with Bradley. You know, Teresa, you know, just, you know, ask for whatever you need for your daughter, for your family, for your heart, for you. Okay, so this is for everybody, Kathy and Teresa, this little bit here. And is there anything else Kathy wants to know, Rachel?
No, she's just saying please tell them that I love them.
Yeah, they know. And you know they know, and they love you too, very much, very, very much. And that's never going to change. That's the coolest shit. I tell my kids all the time, there is nothing that they could ever do. Even if they did some of the most horrific shit on the planet, you're still my kid, and I'm never going to stop loving you. I won't love, maybe, let's say that, God forbid, the things that you do if you did something horrific, but I'll always love you, and that will never stop. And you'll always be in my heart, and you always have the power to change that which it is that you have done, whatever it is, as we all do. We can always choose to be of the light instead of the darkness, to do the right thing instead of, you know, when we feel like we're at a loss for ourselves and we don't understand it, or we're toxic in those spaces and we can't listen to our heart and do the right thing. You know, so we need to choose to do the right thing from love. And we always have those choices. And right now, part of the reason this is coming in is because, as you all know, it is the battle of dark and light. And all week long, when people come into the shop and I'm here, it's the craziest shit. I'm like, they come in and they start talking to me. And I say to them, I say, look, it's time for you to choose a side. It's time for you to be of the light or of the darkness. This is happening to you for these particular reasons, and you're not getting the message. Who are you? Who do you want to be? What are you going to do with this new world? And do you want to be of the dark, or do you want to be of the light? And it's time for those choices to be made. And it's crazy because it just pops out of my mouth, and I'm like, all right, God, why am I telling all these people this? You know, because they're telling me all their stories of all their crap and all their garbage and how they're being tormented by by entities and energies and shit going on, you know, in their lives. And I'm like, well, this wouldn't happen if you didn't have some dark shit going on in there. If you change you, start working with love, you change everything. You change everything. And you have all the power. And then those things don't happen in the same way that they would. And that's Al Gore, the Death Star again. Al Gore, bringing the darkness back to itself. Implosion, right? Bringing the darkness back to itself, because even, and all of us, dark or light, cannot escape the karma that is God or love, because that's how it works. That's how it works. No matter how much luck you have, Mark Etheridge. Okay, FYI. And it's like a crapshoot. It's like a gamble, rolling the dice. Do I want to deal with this? Do I not? Do I want to do the right thing, or can I wait? And do I know what the right thing is, or is this a subconscious thing? Okay, so interesting stuff for all of you to think about with choosing a side, so to speak. And it's not like a side where we think like Israel and Palestine or all this crazy shit, because it's absolutely not about that. It's about doing the right thing from love. That's what it's about. And war, right? And all the crap that's going on over there, all right, is all part of the darkness and the demons and the shit and the toxic, unwell, lower vibrational crap. And so choosing a side just facilitates that. Choose the side of love. You know what's right and what's not. Just like all the Hamas stuff, or the Hamas attack, you know, where they just brutally raped and murdered and all of that stuff. And you say to yourself, well, you know, what really happened? Did you see the videos? Do you know what's really happening? But regardless, know this. Anything remotely having to do with that is of darkness. It's not about war. It's about being a decent human fucking being. There's things that you just don't fucking do from love. Oh shit, no, right? And so then there's stories of how they drug them to make them into these warriors and all this crap. But the truth is, no one escapes their karma. No one escapes their crap. You know, regardless of everything else that goes on here, what people tell you, and in your heart, you know the God's honest truth of love and what the right thing to do is. We all do. Right? Sometimes we don't want to deal with it. Sometimes we don't want to see it. Sometimes we have a hard time with it. And we have to learn sometimes through Earthworld what that is. That's part of the journey. But you want to make the best conscious choices you can always from love. So you have the best outcome and the least amount of grief with everything that comes, no matter what it is. And the best life, no matter what. Okay? From love. All right. So that said, who else? What else we got? What's the time frame we got for tonight?
It's 8:20 right now.
Okay. So do we have any more questions for tonight?
Not online, no.
Okay. So, a couple of things that I want to talk about because it's 8:20. We have another 25 minutes, right?
Yeah.
I want to ask you guys if you have any questions before I feel like Rachel does because she got this big shit-eating grin on. Yeah, she does, right? Okay. So, Rachel, what's your question? So I'm asking the people that are here their questions. Go ahead.
You know those tree rings that we got in the shop, and you said that red one connected me to my Grammy?
Yeah.
I was wondering why or how it does, because I don't know, but I know, like I can feel that it does.
Okay. All right. Did you pick it up? Can you want to go get it?
Yeah.
So we can show everybody what we're talking about. Right. We got some rings in the shop, and there's a tree ring. You know, like Tree of Life. I believe the origin of that is Celtic, is it not?
I think so.
Yeah. I know that in the Celtic spiritual beliefs, they definitely have trees of life, but so many other spiritual beliefs as well. Okay. So we have these rings, and when they first came in, I said to Rachel that this one connects her to Grammy's energy. I'm surprised you haven't bought this yet.
Me too.
I really am because of that. So
Mark.
This, if you can see it. Oh, Jennifer's yelling out Mark because Jennifer's giving Mark hints so that he could buy this for Rachel. Jennifer's bad. These people, they're just bad. If you can see this little ring here and this one here. All right, this is it. It's a little Celtic tree with like orange leaves on it. And this really does. This is all the colors of your grandmother. It has like these greens, these tans, these orangey colors. It's the season that your grandmother loves the best. Are you aware of that?
No, I wasn't actually.
Yeah. She loves flowers, but she loved the fall the best. I don't know if you're aware of that.
I didn't know that.
Okay. This is what universe is telling me, but also this tree is of passion. The red is fire. Your grandma was what? If you can say anything at all about your grandma, she was what?
Spicy.
Well, she was spicy, but that's not what I'm talking about.
Passionate.
True, but what is passion? She's in her heart. Yeah, yeah. This is what happens when you get into a Gemini. And this is exactly what I was talking about earlier. Rachel is mad Gemini. Okay, so I say to her, what does the red mean? What does the red mean? And she thinks of all these other things that, yes, are part of it, but they're not the meat and potatoes of what we're talking about spiritually here, right? And so many of us miss the message, so it's no accident that this happened, because Rachel's sitting here thinking, oh, it's this, with her gifts and all these wonderful things that come in, when it's about being in your heart. That's what her Grammy was, in her heart. See the red leaves? And that's exactly what I was telling you guys about with the prophecy stones. Clear that kind of energy out. Get the prophecy stone, will help and assist you. It doesn't necessarily do it for you, but it will definitely assist you with it, and you'll feel it. You'll feel it, because instantly I feel it. I feel clarity. I feel clearness. All those crazy thoughts that pop into Rachel's head, being a Gemini, one of your most creative intellectual signs, right? So she gets all this information, mad information all the time. And then she doesn't know how to find the truth of the main core of the energy in this that she needs to get the message of, which is Grandma was in her heart. And this is what connects you to this the most. All those things that you got are part of it. But sometimes, you know, in our spaces, depending on the vibration we vibrate at, All right? Sometimes those things are the information we get, like, let's say OCD thoughts are not of the light. Do you understand that? Yeah. Okay? So, that is the main core. It's beautiful. She connects to trees. She connects to all of these things. And all the things that you said are right on. But it was a great example that universe created for us here to explain to everybody how intellectual signs we overthink. And people in general can overthink because the whole world is so about intelligence that they miss the grandest and most powerful intelligence of all. Your fucking heart. Your heart space. Your heart space. The grand intelligence. Cool as shit. Heart wisdom. Yep. So anyways, does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. And I'm glad you asked because it helped everybody understand all of these things so much better and differently. Do you see?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, good example. And thank you, Rachel. And none of those things mean that you are stupid. It means that you have brilliant gifts. So don't be thinking you're stupid. Clear that shit out. Put the best way to be from love. It's incredible how we know these things, isn't it? Yeah. You are far from stupid, Rachel. You're just loaded with wonderful gifts that you're working on getting a handle on so that you can live your greatest life in your dreams. Do you understand that? So all of this information is for that. Now, how do you put that on the shelves where they need to go to get to the main things that you need most importantly for you in whatever moment in time that you need to know them and still have these over here and utilize everything in the healthiest, best way? And we're talking about this now because this is the gifts of, let's say, Donald Trump, the gifts of Vladimir Putin. Do you understand that? The gifts of these people is that they become experts and masters over lifetimes of the energy and the things that they've come in here to do, just like you. Right? And granted, you're young still, right? The older you get, the more you live it, the more you have in your arsenal. That with age comes wisdom. Yes. And so the difference between you and him, like let's use Vladimir Putin because he's a really great example, better than Donald Trump especially for what I'm talking about here, which goes back to the astrology charts, because he has Gemini moon. Okay, and I believe it's in his OG natal chart, and I have to look that up to be sure of which chart it's in and stuff. But he has that Gemini moon, and what happens is Vladimir Putin, right? Gemini is the sign that is separate signs, right? In other words, it is a sign of severe mental illness when in an unwell, really dark space. It is the bipolar sign. Gemini is the twins in astrology. It is two different people at once. Vladimir Putin has mastered this. This is how he's able to play the dark and the light. And it's in his moon, his subconscious soul. So it's not even something he can do that he thinks about and could share with you consciously unless he's consciously aware and does the things that we do, like here now. Do you see? But I'm telling you people this because these are part of his mad skills that make everybody believe he's part of the darkness. Gemini, it can be multiple people in there. Isn't that right, Rachel? Yeah. But if you have Sag, you have Gemini, and we all have some Gemini placements, and depending on how much we have. But make no mistake about it, that Gemini moon that Vladimir Putin has is a fantastic gift made perfectly for the mission his soul came in here to do. Right? Because as the darkness fools you, he's constantly fooling the darkness. Right? And then you can say, well, is he? Is he really? Yeah. What do you feel in your heart? Truth will tell. Time will tell as everything comes out. But also, there are other things about him as well. His birth date is October 7th, the same exact birth date as my daughter Sophia, and both of them are mad geniuses. Genius, 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 right? You don't get to be ruler of the world, whatever world that is, at such a grand scale, and not be a genius. So he knows exactly what he's doing. You can look up videos and he talks about how the West has been taken over by darkness. He doesn't want this for his country, for his people, for the world. You can look up these videos, people. All right, you can say, well, this is fake and that's fake and on and on. And they can sell you all this other crap going on and on and on. But what do you feel in your heart is the truth. If you don't know what that is, ask God for it. The God's honest truth about Vladimir Putin. The God's honest truth about what I am saying. Okay? And all of it. Ask God to show you. Because everything that I'm saying will show up. stuff. It'll come right into your reality. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so Rachel, with this, do you understand what we're talking about here?
I do. Thank you.
Okay. And you're super, super welcome. I think I need a tissue here for my nose. All right. So, this said, we got your question covered. I want to make sure we get everybody's question covered, but it's neat how universe is bringing us back to our story for tonight, as well as answering everybody's questions and how everything ties into all of us in our reality here. Fascinating, fascinating stuff. Okay, Sophia, you have any questions?
Not right now. Thank you.
You okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, what about you, Jen?
In July, my Spanish grandmother passed away. I was wondering if she had anything to say.
Yeah. In July, Jennifer's Spanish grandmother passed away, and Jennifer lived in Spain. When did you go to Spain? What was that for?
Oh, I got my graduate degree there.
A graduate degree? So she got her graduate degree there. And she lived with a Spanish family that was an adoptive family for her that she loved very, very much. And it was great to see Jennifer, and this is years ago, of course, already, go through have all these experiences and things, which is fascinating. But she just said to me that her Spanish grandmother just passed away. And what she wants you to know is that she loves you. And she's loved you all along. And that there is no bridge or water gap or country. I would change that. Super powerful. Loves you so much. Okay?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. I think I'm crying more than you are. That's a problem for me. Just messing with you. It's all good. It's all good. Okay. So all this said, is there anything else for Jennifer? No. There's something about a candy cane and a quilt. Anything you know anything about that?
Not right now.
Not right now. So keep that in mind. Put that in the arsenal on the shelf. Just like when Rachel gets all that information that comes in, put it over here because the answers will come, and let's ask God for them. And thank you, God, for that for us. Okay, what time we at? Because I also want to talk about some other things, if we can get it back into the Vladimir Putin thing and these incredible things that are in the astrology with him.
8:30.
Let's say 30. Okay, so we still have about 15 minutes to 8:45, and we can talk about it. So those of you who want to get into it and talk about Vladimir Putin and the chart, because we also pulled up Donald Trump's. I don't think we're going to get to that one tonight, but we will do this one. I'm going to go right to my Facebook page with my phone here, and I am going to pull up. If you scroll down, I wrote on here, whose is whose. The second set of charts is Donald Trump's. The first one is Vladimir Putin's. October 7th of 1952 is when he was born. He was born in St. Petersburg, Russia, interesting enough. And if you look in here, in this big circle here, what are you laughing about, girl?
I'm sorry, Lynn. I'm sorry. Kathy says, Lynn, sent you some lunch money. So she must have donated.
Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. Kathy Wermack. Is that who?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for donating. Thank you. Thank you,
can
everybody. Jennifer goes, we can eat. Okay, so here is Vladimir's chart. If you the big circle, you see that? It's right on my Facebook page. If you guys haven't pulled it up, you can see it. This is his OG chart, which is the original chart, which most people know about in astrology, which is your natal chart. We've talked about these things in the past. If you make that circle big and you go into the center circle, there's a white little center circle, then there's another bunch of grayish circles, and then there's an outer circle outside of that. That's where you're going to find the moon in the 8th house of transformation, okay, and that's in Gemini. It is also Gemini Taurus. So Taurus having the Taurus energy, Taurus is a very hard energy to change because it's a cusp. He's a cusp moon. But him having that Gemini and then it being in Scorpio's house, whoa, there's a lot going on there. So this moon in Gemini is super powerful, okay, and it's in the house of transformation, which is Scorpio, all right, and the God's honest truth. As well as it is also has Taurus energy in there as well, which has Jupiter, which is Jupiter is the sign of Jupiter is for Jupiter is Sagittarius. So there's a lot of incredible energy going on here that lends itself to everything that I speak of about Vladimir Putin being an agent, a secret agent of the light. And if you think about it, what's so funny is, what was he when he first, started his career? Do you guys know? Because we pulled up his biography and we read about him. He was KGB. And what is KGB? The equivalent of the CIA in America, I believe, except it's in Russia. And what is that? A secret agent. So why would Vladimir Putin be a secret agent in this reality? Why wouldn't he be why couldn't he be a secret agent of the light? Do you see? Yeah. Pretty wild shit, right? All right. So it doesn't mean that he was necessarily always good all of the time and chose this path. Did you? Did you choose always the light and make all the right choices? And at any given time, you have the choice to change the space of God or love that you are in, to be of the light, to be of the darkness, to change those things, right? Okay, so things to think about with all this, guys. Things to think about. Okay, his rising sign, which is a sign that other people see you as, it's Scorpio at 3 degrees. 3, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. The number 3, right, is his ascendant. Okay, but it is also Libra, because it's within 10 degrees. So he is Scorpio Libra. Libra is about balance. So he's a master balancer. He's master at adapting. Libra is the sign of adaptation. We have talked about this in the past when babies who don't make it in the NICU, if you look at their astrology charts, right? Nobody doesn't want a baby in the NICU or anywhere to not make it, right? As a general human thing from your heart. Okay, or compassion, right? And none of us want that to happen. However, the truth about your energy of your soul is in your astrology. And this is true of Vladimir Putin, and this is true of every baby, every soul born into this world. And the thing about babies is the ones who do not make it usually have a very poor Venus Libra placement or placements that does not give them the ability to adapt into this world, the adapting to making themselves better. Pretty wild shit, right? Now, of course, I've done tons of work with God at getting these answers for this, okay, because this is what we do, right? And so, really incredible stuff. And so, babies can't, have a harder time balancing in their health. But these are all the gifts that Vladimir Putin has with all of this Libra energy, okay? And Scorpio is the energy that gets to the God's honest truth, the bottom of the truth, okay? So it's incredible to see these placements in his chart and to know these things when we talk, to give you an example about babies and newborn babies and how those are placements of Libra and placements of Venus that are essential to life-giving energy. But you can be a master, like Vladimir Putin is, of lifetimes of the position and the things that he does, okay, and all his gifts that he has in this reality to do this mission here in Earth world. Just like his Gemini moon, he has the ability to be multiple different people, and he utilizes that. The same thing is true with these Libra gifts. He, on his soul, is genius. It's like your soul, your subconscious soul runs the show, and it has the ability to balance. Okay, and Gemini is master creative sign of all your air signs. It is the most creative. It comes, massive amounts of ideas come in all the time. So there is an arsenal of amazing ways to work through situations, and just by looking at his chart, I can see this, to change things, to create things, to do things. And if you think about it, he's got his hands in a lot of shit, the BRICS nations and working with China, and then, the issues with the United Nations, okay? This Belt Summit, what do they call it? Belt and something Summit, right? So, here we have a person who is balancing and playing their cards. Okay, super, super powerful. All right, this is why I call it God astrology, talking to God, asking God for all the things that we need, and then the answers will be shown to us in the astrology, always, in the chart and charts, and in the souls of the people too. Even if you didn't know astrology, you ask and you shall receive, or know anything to do with it, or even be into it, okay? So, this said, again, here you have, his ascendant being Libra Scorpio. And what is Libra? Libra is all about love. All right? Love is God. Love is the light. And interesting enough, This Gemini moon borders the 7th house, which is Venus's house, which is, again, all about love, and he has Taurus in there. And Taurus is solid in its convictions. If you've ever met a traditional person who has a whole fuck ton of Taurus traditional energy, whether they have a Taurus moon, a Taurus sun, a Taurus rising, or, like in this particular case, Venus and Taurus and a whole bunch of shit or placements in their astrology, that would tell you that they have a lot of Taurus energy. You will know, if you know anybody with these energies, how stubborn they are. They are a persevering earth world, hard energy. It's not easy to take down a bull. It's not. And their perseverance, they keep going and going and going and going and going, So remember that, because these are also tools that Vladimir Putin has and needs for his mission here, right? And so while they're all selling you that he's a bad guy, there's things in here, of course, always with the chart. There's multi-layers. And as we grow and change, so does the interpretations of the chart, as well as the interpretations of the chart from other people and other astrologers based on the space of God that they are in. If they're dark, and I've seen a lot of people who are dark astrologers, and you're like, what the fuck? But then there are people who are do more like what I do, are in alignment with God, alignment with the light, right? And they and then you have a whole different chart interpretation. Do you see? But always, right? Always, you feel in your heart. So you can go back into a chart and read it 100 million times. We are always changing to better, higher love energy spaces, or not. Okay? But the truth is always going to be right there in the astrology, in all of your charts, all the layers of your soul. And so just know this, because this is super powerful and super important for everybody. Okay? Also, Vladimir Putin has his North Node in Aquarius, and and that in itself is your destiny, right? He has a South Node in Leo, right? And there's a fantastic astrology person whom we're going to be doing classes with and working with her books is Judith Hill. She's fantastic. We've talked about her before, right? She has this book called The Lunar Nodes, The Key to Excellent Chart Interpretation, because your lunar nodes tell you what's going on, all right, in your life. Again, your chart tells you everything about you over and over and over. So Vladimir Putin, while he has this Libra Scorpio energy in him, okay, he also in his subconscious chart has Cancer energy in him. Okay, so this Cancer energy is your Capricorn. It's your code of ethics in the core of his subconscious soul, because your subconscious soul chart, right, is what really runs the show. Okay, truly runs the show. So he has all this Cancerian energy. So he is about family authentically. He is a lover. Okay, and he is about code of ethics in the core of who he is. That's why he would get up there and make those talks about how the West has been taken over by the darkness, and they believe that they, them, and all of that stuff. And they've brainwashed the people. And he literally talks about it and how toxic the situation is. But it's not just because of that. It's the school system. It's the UN. It's all of this stuff. But he has different segments that you can find that are out there. And if you can't find them, ask God that you can. Ask God to see the God's honest truth. Just like the time I saw Bill Gates get up and tell everybody that there was a shot that they were going to try to give to everybody in the Middle East to stop them in a seminar that they had. And I know it was the God's honest truth. And I know it was real. And I know it happened. I just feel it in my heart. Feel it in my heart, whether the whole video or whatever was staged or not. I know that's right. That's God showing me the truth. It doesn't have to be right in the way you think of it in Earth World. You just have to know that that's what happened, that's what's coming, or that's what was created. And this video goes back to the 2000s, I believe, if not before that, early 2000s. And it has Bill Gates talking about they've invented a shot that's going to take away the God space in human beings. But they didn't put it like that. They said it's going to take away the fanaticism in the Middle East. And here we are, right, with the war in the Middle East. Crazy shit, right? However, what he was really talking about is it taking away the God space of the people, of everybody who got the shot. It disconnects you from your heart. That's what he was really talking about, because that's what the darkness does. It manipulates and disguises, and that's what this was all about too. So check it out, because this is all Universe, God, love, bringing you the God's honest truth through us in our show. And you can look it up. You can't find stuff? Ask God that you do. Ask God for the God's honest truth. All the answers are out there. Ask God that you feel it and know it. The God's honest truth. And everything I'm saying, just like I said, we're talking about Vladimir Putin. Because here's the deal. North Node in Gemini. Let's see, that's Donald Trump here. Let me see, Vladimir Putin has his North Node in Aquarius. Okay, in Judith Hill's great book here. Right, North Node in Aquarius. Okay, I'm just going to quick pull this up. Thanks God for me finding it. Because what it does is it talks about a humanitarian mission to change the world from good. But in a dark space is totalitarianism, and that's what they got going on with AI, the 11th house, Aquarius, Uranus, that incredible darkness. But in this particular case, the energy of such, right? And this is just one of the pieces. I can't find it right now. We'll get into it and can get into it more in either our classes or right here on the show. But it is important that you know that his soul's North Node, which is your life path, your life journey, it came in here to be of the light, to do this work, to change the world for humanity. And when he is out of alignment with that, toxic shit happens, i.e., for all of us, really, this is the way it works. So it literally says this with his North Node is in Aquarius, his South Node is in Leo. And this is just one little bit and piece about all the personal stuff that goes on in there, but it gives you more insight to his mission, to what he has going on here. While the world paints him, but darkness paints him as dark as fuck and all these bad things, right? Sometimes, as we've said, you have to play the cards and that you are dealt in the best way, guided by love, not what the people want you to do, not what the people think, but in the way that you are guided by love in your heart. Because as long as you are guided by your heart, you will always, talking to God or love, you'll always do the right thing, even when other people don't believe it in the moment. And at some point, they will understand it, just like my mother. At some point, just like everybody here, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with those soldiers that comes in. Let's see what happens, what they try to do, as people walk around delusional and think that that's not what's going on here, and then they're going to, when they close the borders, they're not going to want to let people leave. So there's all these plans of darkness that are out there. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes down. But remember, you have all the power that we teach on the show and with all that we do. So when we're talking about Vladimir Putin, it's bringing you back to you to help you guys see the God's honest truth, right? And people can say, well, you're saying he's a savior. Well, he's an agent of the light, just like we all are. Donald Trump is as well. So are all of us. You can choose to be different at any time you want, whether you were part of the darkness before or have dark energies in you or whatever your shit is. You have all the power with free will that is God to be of the light or to be of the darkness, and it's up to you what you want to believe, what you want to do. But anything that comes from hate, that comes from darkness, that comes from unwell, just like when I said to Rachel, OCD thoughts, right? When you have lots of thoughts in your headspace and they're dark or they're unhealthy, like killing yourself or killing other people, that is not coming from God and love. All right, that's coming for your own toxic darkness is in you, in your soul, right? And where you are in alignment with those dark energies in you. And you have the power at any time to work with love to change all of this always. This is what we do and teach. This is what all addiction, mental illness, all this crap comes from, that darkness that we have acquired through lifetimes of our experiences, right? Living in lovely, beautiful places like hell here on earth. But there's a lot of beautiful things here. Earth is really a beautiful place if you remove yourself from the toxic matrix. It really, truly is. It's just amazing. And you all know that, right? Okay, so that said, we'll talk more about all the energies that are going on in Vladimir Putin's chart, and this is just his OG chart. I don't know what time we have, but I feel like we're running out of time. What do we got?
It's 8:50.
Yeah, we're at 8:50. That's what I was feeling. So, that said, we will talk more about it because it's super important for you guys to understand all of these things, and that your North Node, because you can look into it for yourself, as well as get some hope for the future, that there will be people that you might not think are of the light, that are of the light. And Everything is in the grand plan of God. This is a fantastic book if you want to get it. The Lunar Nodes, it's by Judith Hill. She's like a master astrologist. Incredible work. I have a whole bunch of books and great things that we work with and study from. And you know, there's a whole bunch of great traditional astrologists out there. Okay, but remember, your most powerful tool is God. Your connection to God or love. Whether you call it God or whatever it is that you call it, as long as you understand that it is love, not darkness. Okay, so we're going to talk more about it. Your nodes are your lifeline, your life force energy, your destiny. This is what you're supposed to do from the past. That's your south node. Your gifts from the past, really, and this is what comes in with the future, is the north node, your destiny, your this life destiny. Okay, so there's a lot more we're going to look into and dive into the future with this. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be fascinating. But my goal here tonight was to give you guys hope so that you could see things different in a world that's really crumbling, in a world that's pretty fucking scary right now, in a world where people are screaming about takeovers, and they're right, they're not wrong. But what are you going to do to make you the healthiest and best you can be? Because your faith, your connection to God and love is everything. And you have all the tools for these times, and you're going to be perfectly fine. And trust God, trust love, that it already knows what is happening and has a plan. Okay? All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Much love, and the plan is love. Okay? So don't be afraid. You have all the power. Clear your fears. Create what you want to happen in the world from love. And it is so. Thank you, God, for that for us. We'll talk more about it into the future. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. See you next week, 7:15, for our next show. Bye.